Hello. Okay. So this is either going to be really cool or an epic fail. This is LindaLee, and I want to make some paper. So what I did is I shredded in a regular paper shredder some cardstock. I did a lavender, purple, and white. I didn't want to use recycled paper for this particular process because just because of the end result. I didn't want any graying from the ink. So I shredded it, then I cut it up. It was just a straight line shredder, and then I cut it up into little pieces, and now I've had it soaking in water, so it's mushy. I don't have a blender, because that's normally what you would do when you make paper, is blend it up in a blender and make pulp. I just have this little kind of pretend Nutra blender thing. It's called an Elite, so it's like an aftermarket. We're going to give it a try. Like I said, epic, one way or the other. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some of the paper in this cup, and then I'm going to pour some of the water in there. Now, interestingly enough, the water didn't turn purple. I thought it would from the darker pieces of paper, but it didn't. So when I turn this on to blend, it might get a little loud. I apologize if it does, but we'll suffer through it, right? It's only for a moment, maybe. Now, hopefully I took actual pictures of me doing the shredded and the cutting, and then putting it in water. So hopefully, if my editing skills have evolved at least enough, it should hopefully be blended into the video before you got to this point. So hold your ears. Now I know why this thing was sitting on a shelf, because apparently it didn't work real well. Let's do it a little better now. You see it? I can't tell what's happening. Here, let me try and log in real quick so I can see what you guys are seeing, if anything. Hopefully I'm in frame. It's kind of funny. At least I'm entertained. That's all that matters, right? Oh, come on. I think I'm live. Oh, I can't find it. All right, so let's go ahead and see. There's my pulp. Now that's what it was supposed to do, at least. Let me get a tray. We're going to spread it out. So this is just one of the cookie sheets that I use for coffee dyeing. And let's spread it out and let it dry. I feel like a little kid playing in mud. This is actually pretty wet, so I'm sure I can figure out a better way. I just want to spread it out thin enough. It's kind of cool that it didn't blend completely. And I have some like threads that I want to cut up, and seeds. I need something flat so it'll spread out without holes. trying to see what you're seeing. Sorry, I think I'm entertaining myself. I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to make sure there's no little visible holes. And it looks fairly even. Because what I'm ultimately doing is I'm going to have a project coming up that is lavender. And so I wanted some paper that's like a different texture and consistency than the traditional papers that we've been using. And hopefully I'll finally have some eco dye done by then. And I think I need to get something to blop up some of this moisture, but if I take too much out, then it's not going to spread as easily probably. I'm just trying to make it kind of squarish or rectangle, depending on how far out it'll spread. And then I'll do another one with what's left in my not yet shredded pot here. Isn't this kind of fun though? So my concern was being able to do this without a mold and decal, which is the screen box that you traditionally use when you make paper. You have a big old bucket of water and you blend in your pulp, and it's really watery. And then you dip your screen, your mold and decal in the water, and when you pull it up, most of the water will seep out, and then all you have remaining is the pulp. Well, I don't have all that, and I haven't built it, and I'm not sure if I would make paper often enough to kind of warrant the investment in the stuff itself. So this is kind of my workaround in the meantime. And I apologize, it's taking a little bit of time for me to spread this out. I just don't know what my window is before it's not too pliable, because it already doesn't feel as wet now that I'm spreading it out. I also have some seeds that I'm going to kind of sprinkle on it too, because I'm going to make a card or two maybe, and then the paper can be torn and planted, and then the seeds will grow. So it's kind of like a living recycle project. And I think I need to close my door. My guy, it was raining really hard this morning. He works construction, installing windows. And it was raining so hard that the boss just sent him home, and he's playing his video game. And he's on with a bunch of the boys, so he's a little loud. I'm going to shut the door and grab my seeds. All right. So it should be a little quieter now. Sorry about that. Yep. So I'm really sad that I can't see what's going on. But I have some threads from other projects that I've done, with my sewing machine and fraying fabrics. So let me get some scissors, get the good ones. Alright, so I'm looking to see where I am in frame. I'm just going to kind of shred these up a little bit. And a little bit of the purple. Well, I'm probably going to do all of these. Okay, so now I'm just going to sporadically drop this over my paper pulp. And then it'll kind of look like little fibers. Hopefully. That is my goal. Just press them in lightly. Spread them out a little bit. Okay. So now we really just wait for it to dry. Now I have a whole bunch of different kinds of seeds. Whenever I'm like at the dollar store or something, I'll buy a few packets. And I was trying to buy lavender, but they haven't had it. And then I figured, well, I'll get some forget-me-nots, but they don't have them consistently. So there's a little bit of everything in here. I got morning glories, forget-me-nots, bachelor buttons, lavender, and some wildflower seeds too. So this should give it another little texture and some interest. And then the paper, like I said, you'll be able to actually tear it and plant it, and some plants will come up, hopefully. That is my goal. Alright, so that's all the seeds I'm going to add. Let me do some more threads, and then we'll push it all down again. I'm really excited. I didn't expect that little blender thing to work. At first, when it didn't, I thought, oh, okay, never mind. But we got this far. This is pretty cool. And like I said, I'm gonna do the other one too. Let's just kind of level this out. Now I have no idea how long it's going to take this to dry. Normally I would probably put it outside in the sun, but it's raining today, so we don't have that as an option, at least not yet. Maybe later. This is Florida, so usually it rains and then the sun comes out. We don't, very rarely do we have like a whole day of rain. This is so cool. All right. So like I said, hopefully my editing skills, I'll be able to tag on when this is dry and peeling it up. I wonder if I should have put parchment paper up under it. I don't know. I guess this is kind of like I said, a learning experience. All right. That's it for now on this sheet. So let's go ahead and blend up the rest. Can you see it? Pretty cool. All right. Let's go ahead and blend what's remaining of the paper. I'm really excited this part worked. So this little thing, we really don't use this. I have 2 of them. And for whatever reason, I don't have all the little cups and stuff that with this one. I think they're mostly with the other one. So this is now my crafting blender. It turned out a really pretty purple too, didn't it? It's going to look good. No matter what I use it for. Now, as far as how long I let the paper soak, probably longer than I really needed to. But I wasn't ready to do it after, you know, yesterday is when I actually put it in here, but I think you only really need to make sure that it's really soppy and mushy. So probably just a couple hours is all you truly need. Okay, I think it needs more water. Let's try it again before we put more water in it. Yeah. Now I probably have too much water in there, but I want to make sure I get a good pulp going. Because last time it worked pretty good too. I didn't really pay attention to how much water there was in there. I'm just kind of knocking most of it down to the bottom. See? Alright. I wish I would have been able to bring it up so I can see. Okay. I guess I really don't need this little sleeve on here. We got more pulp. Has anybody done this? Does anybody make paper out there that watches me? This is the first attempt I've done it, and I have always, always, always wanted to make paper. Years. So I have a lot more that didn't blend this time, but I think that's okay. I almost want to put this back in there and blend those bits up. What do you think? Just let it be or blend it? I'm going to blend it a little more. Just so it's a little more similar to what I got going on the other tray that we already dropped the threads and seeds on. Okay. Let's set this aside. What I didn't do is bring a towel over either. I thought about it. So I don't know why it's making that noise other than it might not be gripping underneath. Let me just pulse it another time or two, and then we'll just call it. See if I can do it sideways so you can see. All right, that's enough. I don't know if I'm putting undue stress on the machine or what, but alrighty, much better. Try and get it about the same shape and size as the other one. Don't want to waste this pretty pulp. And then we're just going to duplicate what I already did, just add the threads and the seeds. And then we're going to take a break and we'll come back when it's dry. It could be tomorrow, it could be a couple of days. I'm not sure. Maybe I could actually put it in the oven and bake it. That way I don't have to really wait and wait and wait, you know? So is this something that you guys will try? Leave me comments. I'm always interested. I don't get too many comments sometimes. So feedback is good, whether you like what I'm doing, you don't like what I'm doing, you have a suggestion, you tried it and you loved it, you hated it, let me know. It's fun to interact with y'all. I got a couple people that, you know, I have like real conversations with. It's kind of nice. I get to know you, you get to know me a little bit. So just a little thinner yet, and we're almost done mushing. And then what I'll probably do afterwards too is find something that's nice and flat to press it. Or maybe roll like a soup can over it or something like that. It feels like it's fairly even as far as how thick it is, but it might ultimately be a little thicker than I truly want it to be. Whatever it comes out, I'm going to be happy because I'm already excited. All right, so let's go ahead and put in some seeds and threads. Yeah? Probably going to need to shred up a little bit more. Oops, it's a whole bunch. little bit extra of and now let's get some seeds. And then I'll just make sure that there's fairly a consistent amount of drop items in here compared to the other paper, because I'm not sure if there's more or less. Almost feels like I'm dressing a pizza or something. Just spreading the cheese. Okay. Alrighty. So I think that's it for now. Until the next step, my friends. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I am back, and we're all dry. I put it in the oven at 200 degrees, and it took about an hour for it to dry. First thing at looking at it is the bigger seeds are kind of popping out. So I don't know if putting glue in the mix would help that, or if it's just kind of the way it is. So they're about the size of like almost like an apple seed. So my recommendation is, if you use seeds, just make sure you use the smaller of the seeds. Now, when we actually take a look at pulling this off of the tray, well, not such an easy thing. So remember when I said I wonder if I should use parchment paper? That probably would have been a better attempt. So it's coming off just in pieces though, so I'm not getting a sheet of paper. I'm getting, you know, like just pieces. Now this here is exactly what I really wanted it to be. I'll bring it up closer so you can see. So typically when you're making paper, it's actually drying on a screen. So I either would need to, like I said, put parchment paper between it so that I can easily kind of lift it. Even if it was stuck to the parchment paper, that doesn't matter, because, you know, then, you know, it's backed. I don't know. But I do have some screen that I can try. I'm not going to do this again and tag it onto this video. So when I do it again, it'll be another video. And maybe in a few days, I don't know for sure. I gotta kind of fit it into stuff. But yeah, so what I've actually been doing is just kind of like sliding my knife underneath, and it's been kind of lifting and working its way up. Not without injury, you know, in some places, but this is just a cookie sheet that I use only for coffee dyeing anyway. And it's not really hurting my sheet, it's just hurting the paper, because it's literally stuck right on there. There's no really give or take. If I tried to peel it, it comes off in these itty bitty pieces. It just kind of rolls apart. So if you give this a try, don't put it directly on the pan. Let me know what you try instead, and if you have better success. I will definitely try it again, because it's awesome, and this is exactly what I wanted. I just was hoping for bigger pieces. Yeah, so that's it for now. Until next time, have a great afternoon, and thanks for hanging out with me during my misadventure this time. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.